the floor, perhaps for the final time.
I hate to say this. Kawhi Leonard wants out of San Antonio.
Leonard fires from the corner. And Leonard goes down again.
This is a San Antonio team that is really headed into a full rebuild.
You just saw the San Antonio Spurs. They were knocked out of playoff contention, which ends a streak of 22 straight years of making the playoffs.
I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I was born like this, it's born like this. Immaculate conception, not just was performed like this. Was y'all she one new weapon, not no great. I meditate and off your feet. This that people against the bed. This that I got loyalty, got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I was born like this, it's born like this. Immaculate conception, not just was performed like this. Was y'all she one new weapon, not no great. I meditate and off your feet. This that people against the bed. This that I got.
What's up, Dustin?
Hey, what's going on, Derek? How's it going, man?
Been a long weekend. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Brandon? How are you, man? Thanks for hopping in and joining with us. Yeah, it was a long weekend, man. I softball tournament all weekend, very draining. But we made it through. So here we are. But yeah, man, we have an awesome show tonight. I am super excited about this. In my opinion, our biggest guest yet that we've had on.
Oh, for sure.
We've had over 50 to 60 guests on the show since we've started this, and so I'm excited to have him
what's
on.
up, buddy? What's up, Jim? It has been a while, man.
Everybody from the East Coast is popping in tonight.
I wonder why. I wonder why a lot of East Coast people coming in.
Yeah, it's super exciting to have everybody here. So yeah, let's. We have a lot to talk about. We have our guest. We have NHL conference finals starting this
Game
week.
7 today. WNBA kicked off. A lot going on.
A lot going on. So with that being said, let's run our sponsor ad for the night, and then we will get our guest in here to get him going.
What's up, Mr. John? How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all guys doing, Mr. Bearded Bros?
There you go.
Hey, we're doing, man.
Hey, we see you got a beard, man. We can add you to it if you want. I mean, I'll throw it up. Well, first of all, thanks for coming on. I mean, it's pretty cool that you take the time out to do this with us. Second of all, we got a guy here. His name is Brandon. He's one of our followers, and he texted me earlier today and said that you were his favorite defensive end the entire time he's been watching football, that you've been his guy. So a little plug for Brandon for you.
Appreciate it, Brandon. I worked hard to, try to at least get my name out. I really tried to make my play be what people know me for. Now like getting older now, we have the IG, we have this social media. I kind of wish I would did more in media because we got household names, and I definitely should have been a household name in Atlanta and New York. But I was kind of like a down south little country boy. I didn't really do much. I didn't really and see back when I played, like we was like social media, we didn't have that. So it was more like stay away from the news people, but they're gonna throw you under the bus when they get a chance. They're gonna do this and they're gonna do this. So a lot of us older guys now, you can see us doing social media now, especially for basketball players. They seem to be, be springboarding when it comes to social media stuff because everybody knows and now they seeing them. I'm not saying the football players aren't doing. You see a few football players, but since the basketball players had their face already seen, like they can just come back a lot quicker than football players. You got to kind of like say, look, I'm John Abraham. I had 133 and a half sacks. I played 15 years. I did this. I did that. Basketball players like, oh, I remember you from San Antonio Spurs. It's automatic.
So I was doing a little research on you today, and the most amazing thing that I found, and this was on the internet, and I want to make sure that it's correct. You played 1 year of high school football.
Yeah. I think that just from being athletic, I always was good athletically. Not saying that I was a great athlete, but I was fast. I was tall. I was not the biggest kid, but I was always like the tallest one, like 6'4" or something like that. I was 6'4" since I was like maybe 14. So I played. All of us played pickup football games. We had something called Killer Man. We had, different things. I always thought that I excelled in that because I was taller and, I had a little speed on me. And then my senior year, playing track and basketball, that's two explosive sports. So all I had to do was put the same thing in it. And my position playing defensive end, and I played quarterback. I was a kicker. We only had 22 people, so it was kind of, you just got to just get on the field and play football. So my coach, I think the biggest thing that he said was just like see ball, get ball. And that was the smartest thing he ever did. He sat there and tried to get me to learn football, like literally learn football. Because we all think we know football till you start seeing zone 3s, zone 2s,
Right.
what's a down block, what's the inside block, and all this stuff. I'm looking like I just get to do with the ball. And when he told me that, it just cleared up a lot for me. But yep, 1 year of high school football, man.
So do you still own the state record in the 200 in South Carolina?
I'm sure I don't, but I'm sure I don't care.
I didn't look that far into it. I just seen that at one time you had it.
I'm sure I don't care about that, but I did do one thing when I left University of South Carolina. I got drafted. I went back because we didn't have a track field at my high school. We had no track. We just had a dirt track. So we never had a home track field. So I went and paid to get us a track field. So we have a track field now. They won a few state championships after that. So track was one of my funnest sports because I guess I didn't really have to train that hard. I just had to run. So,
always fast.
I definitely would love to get the opportunity to run at home. We never had a home track meet when I was there.
So you went to a small high school is what it sounds like, with only having 22 players. And you said you played quarterback as well. When you played that 1 year, was it always like after you finished that year, was it always going to be going into South Carolina just the defensive side of the ball, or did you have opportunity to potentially play it somewhere else?
Well, I couldn't catch a cold in the winter, so it was like, because I played receiver too, and the quarterback position, I think that's playing quarterback has showed me that I'm an overthinker. You know what I mean? Like I just thought, like even when I return kicks, I just thought too much. I thought, should I run this way? Should I run that way? Instead of just hitting the hole and everything? So I knew I wasn't gonna be an offensive player. So when you on defense, it's pretty much like, especially playing the end. Like if I played corner, I'd probably been the worst position ever. Even trying to play middle linebacker, I could have did it like later in my career because I really started focusing on learning football. But beginning of my career, it was just straight like physical attributes, trying to beat this person one-on-one. So I definitely know if I would have went to school at quarterback or any other position, you would have never heard of John Abraham. Or especially if they had NIL back in the day, y'all definitely wouldn't have heard of my ass.
So was it always South Carolina for you growing up in South Carolina? I mean, was there once that offer came?
I didn't play, so I didn't know what was a good football team. Like, and that's what people don't understand. I chose South Carolina because it was close to home, just to be honest. Like, and then I only played 1 year, so I didn't have a lot of recruiting. You know, I had like Clemson, I had Carolina. I wanted to go to South Carolina State because I felt like I was from a small school and it would be more, you know, beneficial for me to go to a small school. I didn't think I could fit in a Division I type college situation. Like, oh, I'm gonna go there and I'm just gonna be like overseen. I'm only 6'4". Even when I came on the campus to see the guys, these guys were 250, 2 something, and I was like 195 in high school. So for me personally, I was like, there ain't no way I'm like, going pro was not even in my, like, I was thinking like I might get a shot, but I'm gonna be one of these guys that's always scraping the bottom of the barrel, you know, just making the team here and there, maybe. But then when I got to University of South Carolina, and after my freshman year, it was kind of like, you know, one of the coaches he kind of said something, and I kind of heard it. He said, you know, he's a man among boys. And I was like, I knew he was talking about me, but he's like, nah, he's talking about you. Like, you know, Coach Burnham said that you different from all these other kids. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I ended up leading my team in sacks all 4 years. You know, even though I only had 4 my freshman year, I didn't start. So for me, it was like when I found out I really had an opportunity to make. The thing about even though I went to South Carolina, we didn't win a lot of games when I was there. But we played against Florida, we played against Georgia, we played against Kentucky, we played against Auburn, we played against all these teams that were high caliber teams, and I was making plays on these teams. I think my senior year is when I went from probably being a 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick to a 1st round pick on how I played Georgia that last game. You can actually look it up online, and I actually watched the game, because I had to do a lot of research on myself to see if I was really a good player, because with a lot of my head trauma from football, I didn't think I was that good, and I focused on my negative a lot. But I watched that game, and I was everywhere. Like, I don't know what they had me on. I don't know what kind of juice they put me on, but I was blocking kicks. I recovered fumbles. I was tackle for loss. And this is just one game against Georgia, my senior year, my first year playing outside linebacker for Lou Holtz. And it was just like, man, if you watch that game, you would think that John Abraham was up for the Heisman. How I was playing the game.
When did you realize that at South Carolina that you could actually go pro? Because you said that you had a slim chance because maybe where you were with your weight or whatever. When did you realize, like, I have a chance to go pro?
Like I said, when that coach said that, when Coach Burnham said that, you know, he's a man amongst boys, you know, people, the only thing about college sports, everybody that comes in think they're going pro. And it's so aggravating, because I had like one guy, you know, one of my roommates, he was kind of, I just can't get a scholarship, bro. I know I ain't gonna go in pro, but I'm gonna get my work. So he worked and all that stuff. But this was like in the late 90s. And, you know, everybody had that dream of, you know, taking care of their family, doing this. It was a narrative for football players, a narrative for basketball players, especially black guys. It was just a narrative that this is the only way you're going to make it, to take care of your family. So we were so brainwashed on that we need to take care of our family. This is the only way we could have did it. A lot of us didn't take school serious. And trust me, like I tell people all the time, our culture when I was in South Carolina wasn't the greatest one. You know, like most of us was in Afro-American studies or econ or what is that? Criminal justice. Not saying those are not good. Not saying those are not good stuff if you want to do that. But you got to understand, if you're coming into school and all you see is on the whole team is you see the same majors, and you're like, yeah, that's not going to be good. And like now being a grown man, I'm like, yeah, they gypped me on my little thing. But I did graduate, so I did come back and graduate because I put my pride to the side finally, and you know, just. A lot of times you get breakups, so you feel like you've done wrong. You feel like I don't want nothing from these people, but also you put so much blood and tears into a situation. I love Carolina. Don't get it twisted. I love the Gamecocks. It had nothing to do with the outside of football and the program we had at that time. I had a great time there, man. The relationships I made, you know, people I got to be around, my surroundings. You know, I got to be a 1st round pick. I got to, you know, play under Lou Holtz. You know, which is actually phenomenal. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people say they met him, but, you know, actually having that relationship and getting to know, you know, him.
So what was it, you know, we go to the 1st round pick. What was it like to get that phone call? I mean, did they do that back then? I'm sure you got the phone call to say, hey, we're turning the card in. We're taking you. The Jets are taking you. What was that phone call like?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I'll say it like this. I'm going to ask you a question, and either one of y'all can answer it. How many yards are on the football field?
How many yards? 110?
Yeah. Okay. Well, probably about 120. But it's like most people say 100 yards. And I think for me, that's the problem. Like there's 120, you got 10 yards in both end zones. So yeah, once you score, like people just think it's 100 yards. Like I'll see people questions to be like, "Oh, it's 100 yards." Like, no, it's 120. When I got in the league, I only gave them 100 yards. I thought I made it. I should have started. I should have at the end zone and seen how much else I could have done when I first got there. I think most of us, or I'll say me. I won't say most of us. When I got to the league, I thought I made it. I thought that was it. I said, okay, cool. I got there. I'm good. But then, I start realizing about Pro Bowls and about other things like that. So I think in the extension that when I see these guys, you got to wait till after you score. And scoring is not crossing the goal line no more. Scoring is like, you got to give it that 120 and not that 100. Like 100 yards is cool. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't get the opportunity. But I think when I got there, it was like my 100 yards over. I felt like I scored compared to understanding that I can score deeper in the end zone. And that's what I should have done, So because I was looking at it, it was like, how much yards on the field? They said 100. I'm like, well, you got 10 yards in both end zones. And I said, I guess that's the problem with people that watch football. They don't understand football is, even like when you're playing football, it's more than just like you'll hear people like dropping the ball right before the 1 yard line.
Oh, that ticks me off.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. That's why you got to put those extra 10 yards into the game. You get. So that's what I said when I got drafted. Like looking back now, I kind of wish I would have had an older guy tell me, like, don't celebrate until you're done. You get what I'm saying? Like, because most of us, we'll get there and then we feel like we made it. We want to go buy a big house. We want to go buy a big car. We want to go get all this celebration stuff going on. And we really don't know where our career is going to go. You know what I mean? See, college, you kind of go here. I never thought I was going to have the opportunity to be a Hall of Famer. So I never thought about it. But if you could have told me when I got in the league the first day there, well, this is what you're going to play 15 years, which none of us know this, but you're going to play 15 years and you're going to have an opportunity to be a all-star. You're going to have an opportunity to be a Hall of Famer. So are you willing to sacrifice not going out? Are you willing to sacrifice, pushing these ladies away? Are you willing to sacrifice certain things in your life until you're doing? Because you're going to be doing it by 35, bro. So you're going to be doing it at a young age. And you can stack all this money, and at 35, you can ball out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think I think a lot of the athletes, we try to have fun while we're in the league, and then when the league is over with, like for me personally, I still was trying to have fun because I felt like I wasted so much time. Because you got to understand, in college, you don't get Thanksgivings, you don't get Christmases, you don't get a lot of stuff that people got. So when we get to the league, I told people, asking like, what was the biggest difference between college and NFL? I said, first of all, it was a lot easier, and I had way too much free time. I had just like way too much free time. I mean, it was like, you go to class, you have to do this, you get obligated to do this, get to the league, you come in from that maybe 8 o'clock or maybe 6 to maybe 4, and then you have all that time just to figure stuff out, and this is a long time ago. It's a little different now, but it was different.
What are your thoughts on the NIL now? First year, this past year. What are your thoughts about the NIL now?
I love it because a lot of guys ain't gonna get the opportunity to go to the NFL, but they are getting compensated for what they do in college. You know what I mean? Because I played 4 years. I led the team in sacks all 4 years. I have nothing to show for it. I mean, besides being in the University of South Carolina Hall of Fame now, and getting my degree. But and then those 4 years, if they're prepared right, the NFL money will be easy for them to handle. You get what I'm saying? Because most of the guys in the NFL, they kind of get it around year 3 or 4. But if you're 18 and you have somebody showing you like, no, you can't do this, you need to do this. You're 19, you're doing this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Now, it's going to be some people that get thrown in the ringer. That's just life. We can't even manage. But overall, if you can see it being a positive for guys to have something to stand on when they're leaving, maybe they can tweak it a little. Like, you can use 10% of your money now, and when you graduate, you can get the rest. Just like my kids, 18, y'all can get this kind of money. At 21, you can get this kind of 25. At 25, you can have all the money I have saved. But right now, you got to wait. So just things like that. I think that might help the situation, but also I'm not in the NIL. Like I said, if I had NIL, you'd gave me $200,000 when I was in college, I would have never made the NFL because I'm from Toombsville, South Carolina. Our median at the time was like 18 to 36 grand, so I would have been good.
Right. So being from that small town in South Carolina, what was it like when you go to the New York Jets? I mean, what was the big city like for you?
It wasn't the big city. That's what people don't understand. We were in Long Island. I think we were more pissed off because we thought we was gonna have the city life. We did not. We practiced at Hofstra. I was like, dude, this is the worst facility I've ever been in. Like back then, and you ask anybody who played for the Jets during that early era before they moved to the nice facility now. And if I was in the facility they had like now, I would have never left the facility. Literally, we had like our facility was on a college campus. What is the biggest trigger for a college campus? Drinking, women, all that stuff, because it's all kids. So they had bars going all the way down the street. Like literally, Hofstra campus right here, our facility is literally on Hofstra campus, and all you had was bars going all the way down the street. It was a no-brainer that we were not going to be great. Looking at it now, it's like that's just terrible. Like, come on, man. And then we had to drive like they say we always had away games because we had to drive from Long Island. Like even on home games, we had to drive to Long Island to Jersey. So it was difficult. Like being a Jet was tough, and it was not what I thought of. Now I love the Jets, so I think people think because I'm criticizing, but I'm just being real. Like this is what really happened. It was tough because changing from having Bill Parcells to Al Groh, and I'm an outside linebacker, and I know I'm gonna be good at outside linebacker. That's my dream job, to have to go to play defensive end and just getting beat up a lot, and I'm like 245. The size I was the perfect size for an outside linebacker. But playing defensive end was totally different. If you see the guys like you see the guy like Michael Parsons, you see the guys like that Atlanta has now, you see the guys now like Von Miller. Those guys are the outside linebacker rusher type guys. That's what I was then. DeMarcus Ware. I was like that then, but I was forced to be playing defensive end, and it just didn't work the same. Even though I had success because of my natural ability, I wasn't the strongest guy. I'm never gonna say I was. Like everybody has a different thing. You have one guy that can squat 500, you have another guy that can bench 500, and then vice versa. I was never a strong guy, but when on the field, you couldn't tell.
Right, you had good technique, and you were quick off the ball. I mean that's you use those to your advantage against those, the tackles.
And kind of talking about that, like I call it the hybrid position. That's kind of what I say. You're a linebacker like a Micah that can rush the ball, can play linebacker, and he can cover. How do you like kind of where that position is evolving now in the game?
I love it, and I'm jealous. My last couple years, I got to play outside linebacker my rookie year. But I only got to play 6 games, and I was a backup, so I didn't really get the attention at outside linebacker. So they didn't get to see that much, But then I ended up getting traded. Well, I ended up getting cut from the Falcons and going to Arizona, and I got to play my position finally. And I ended up making the Pro Bowl. And this is when I was 35. So I'm looking like, think if I would have played the outside linebacker position my whole career. And I was literally, and I still am, I was a natural. I hate saying natural because I did work, but I was athletic, and I'm still athletic. But I think me playing at end, I never really got to show it. But I got to show it for those last year. That last year or two that I was in Arizona, I got to show what kind of athlete I can cover out the backfield. I am smart enough to play outside linebacker because when I was in New York, a lot of people didn't feel like I was smart enough to play that position. Well, he's not that kind of smart. But, when people tell you stuff like that, it takes away from your confidence, especially when you're making Pro Bowls. But then you come into the office and they're like, well, he got lucky and made a Pro Bowl, or this, and this. And I'm hearing all this, and I'm kind of like, that. I'm like, I know I'm a good player, but it's like, not saying it was bully, because they ain't saying bully, but, trying to humble you, but doing it the wrong way. You can say like, you're a great player, but we need you to do more of this, or you're doing this, compared to saying that, oh, I can't believe that you're doing this, and you kind of getting lucky on this, So it was a lot of stuff that I had to endure because of, small mistakes I made as a young guy.
I mean, there's no luck becoming a Pro Bowler. Whoever said that about you is insane. Because what you did through your tenure is I mean, to me, you can be a Hall of Famer easily, and I hope that time comes for you because you deserve it. That's you don't just, they don't give you Pro Bowls. They don't give them to you just to give them to you. Right. And so I'm glad that didn't stop you from continuing to do what you did, because it was well deserving.
Yeah, I think it took more away from the glee that you want when you're playing a position. Like even with this podcast, if I was to call y'all right after we were done and start critiquing, like, you shouldn't have did this, you shouldn't have did that, you shouldn't have did this. And let's say if you get an award next year for your podcast, but I'm just like chopping you up, and you kind of like, okay, bro, like, I get it. I love to critique, but you can critique without trying to make me feel bad about what I did. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't feel that way, like I do my kids the same way. And sometimes, and I think even for me, I used to be so hard on myself. It's tough for me to be hard on my kids because I don't want them to feel like I felt. Like I still take my, like, even when I played, I used to watch my negative tapes. I never watched my positive because I didn't want to ever be like, oh, he think he's this or he think he's. There's nothing wrong with being telling your truth. And truthfully, I was a good player. And truthfully, I do deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So if you look at the numbers and you look at the people around me, whether it's calls, fumbles, whether it's tackle for losses, whether it's sacks, I'm around where there's Hall of Famers behind me and in front of me. So to say that I don't deserve it because I didn't win a Player of the Year, because I wasn't consistent because I got hurt here and there. I got 196 games, and that's like 12 years of football and 133 and a half sacks. So it's but if I was in the media, if y'all would have heard my name a lot, it would have been easy. You'd be like, oh yeah, he just wasn't on the teams that, he didn't have the guys, or that's how you see a lot of guys. Some guys that are in the Hall of Fame now because they won a lot. Like, their numbers are not amazing, but they won, so you can't really knock that either. But if I don't make it, I think it'll hurt more because I came back from so many injuries. That's my big thing. Like, I came back, I missed 40-some games, and my numbers are still with Hall of Famers. It's ridiculous. Like, when you think about it that way, some people say, well, he got hurt too much and this is this, but then he's like, but he got numbers that Hall of Famer. He got better numbers than Dwight Freeney, and he played less games.
That's right.
Why are you saying that he don't deserve it? Well, we understand that Dwight was Player of the Year and Dwight won a Super Bowl, but this guy got hurt, and he still got the same numbers. Like, do y'all understand if he had those 40 games, like his numbers? And like they said, they don't talk about what you could have done. They talk about what you did. And that's what kind of had me messed up. I'm like, well, I'm talking about what I could have did, but I didn't do it. I'm looking like, but I did do it. I'm like, you got 100. Like, you did do it, dog. Like I don't care what you say. You sit here and try to like make them feel good about why they're not doing it. But I'm sitting here like, you knocking yourself, but you did it, big guy. Like, you got the numbers that, you got the numbers that for souls to be like, that dude was a baller.
So, what was it like when you got traded from New York back to Atlanta, not back to Atlanta, from New York to Atlanta? Obviously, that moves you back closer to home. I mean, Georgia, right there with South Carolina.
For me personally, it was a piece. Because it's like, I don't know if y'all, hell, I know y'all have been. All of us have been. You be in a relationship, you stay too long. That's probably the best way I can break that down for you. You're in a relationship, you don't hate the person, but you don't want to see them tomorrow. You don't really, it's kind of like, I don't want to dump you. You don't want to dump me. Kind of just hanging around. You're doing well on your end. I'm doing all right on my end. We're just like saying we're together. Then all of a sudden, we just ain't talking no more. That's kind of how the relationship was. But I can't say I was happy because they let me go, because I was planning on retiring when I left there. Because if I had to come back, I was just going to go and retire, because I'm like, this is just too much stress, me coming in here and trying to act like I'm happy. I'm not, I feel uncomfortable, every time I come in here, I'm not really myself. I'm retiring. And instead of them like handcuffing me, they were like, you know what? Make a choice, see what team. And they let me choose what team, because I had a few teams on the table. So I have a lot of respect for them. I have a lot of respect for Mike Tannenbaum. I have a lot of respect for the Jets now after I'm done playing, because they gave me an opportunity. And, I think they're on their way, especially having Aaron Glenn there now. So it was tough because, I didn't want to leave Sean Ellis. I didn't want to leave Lavernius Coles, but also it was like, you're a grown man and this ain't working out for you. Like, no matter how you want to put it on paper, it's like, sure, maybe I could have been there when they had the other coaches came. It might would have fit right. I might have would have played, with some Rex there. You never know.
I bet say Rex Ryan, you would have fit well in that scheme.
I might, so it's a lot of stuff that I think in my head all the time. Like, shoot, I might have should have stayed, but also I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be in Atlanta and meet the people I would have. And I think the more you grow, the more you have to realize that you're in the place because you're supposed to be there. So try not to see the negative stuff that's going around. Try to pick the positives. I used to be a guy that if this is 100% of my day, I can have 99 good things and I'll let one thing ruin my day. I try not to do that now.
Hey, one of our viewers wanted me to ask you something. He wanted to know if you would be a college coach and what was your favorite part about it being a leader on defense?
I would say no for college coaches because it's just too much. It's too time consuming. I enjoy being around my kids. Even though like, and this is nothing negative at all, but there are things about football has done to me that I'm not that kind of guy that can be around stuff for too long. Like I can be around it, but just to say that I have to sit here and remember like plays and I'll feel a little bad if I put a kid in a position that messes him up. So I would rather come and, scout, maybe come there for a week or two, get to see him. Because I work with the IPP. It's the International Players Program for the NFL. I go see these guys for a week. I give them my knowledge. I talk to them. They got a couple guys that this year they got signed by a couple of teams. That's the kind of stuff that I'm intrigued by. That's the kind of stuff that I know that I can mentally get through and I won't take it personally. You know what I mean? So things like that is cool. What was the other question? I forgot. I rambled.
About being a defensive leader. What was your favorite part about being a defensive leader?
You know what? I don't feel like I was a leader on the field, but probably not off the field. I've said this before. I was a great player, but I wasn't a great pro. I wasn't a great professional. Like outside the field, doing the things like talking to the media, doing being out and putting my face into the city like I should have. I should have done more of that, but also you gotta understand I dealt with a lot of social anxiety. And people say, how do you deal with social anxiety? You can play in front of 80,000 people. I say, I got a mask on. I knew what the hell I was doing on that football field. Like when like meeting new people is different though. Like if I have to sit here and then a lot of times, and it used to kill me. Like I would go to a signing or something like that, and somebody would come ask me to sign something, and they don't even know who I am, and I'm like, I can't explain who I am. Like, oh, who are you? Like so automatically, like my mind would automatically like, hey, I ain't even good enough to them know who I am. So there'll be certain things that I kind of like shied away from doing stuff like that. But now I'm comfortable with like explaining who I am. I'm comfortable with like everybody ain't gonna know you. I'm comfortable with like letting people know like I achieved a lot of stuff in life. I don't have to be the richest person. I don't have to be the brokest person. I don't have to be the best looking person. Everybody fits in there somewhere. And if you get a call from somebody, do it. If you get this, do it, because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to be able to touch.
I mean, that's awesome, because I think that's a lot of things that athletes, even at the pro level, deal with, that social anxiety. And people do say, well, they play football, they're on the field in front of all these people. Like you said, it's different than meeting a new person. It's completely different.
Right.
Because I felt like I used to be that way as well. I used to not like meeting new people, but now I will talk your ear off for 3 hours and I've just met you. That's the type of person I am. And that's just something you grow into. And I think because people think because you're an athlete, you're this perfect person, this perfect persona of what you're supposed to be, without knowing who you really are.
Well, so I kind of got two questions, and I always end with a 2-question thing, depending on who we're talking about and who we're talking with. I think I know the answer to one of them. My first question is, if and when you do get elected to the Hall of Fame, what team are you going to go under, the Falcons or the Giants?
The Jets.
The Jets.
You know what, man? Whoever will have me, because the big thing is the team has to allocate you to go. So it ain't really about the player, the team. And I've been talking to the Jets and the Falcons, man. Anybody who's willing to back me and anybody who's willing to pat me on the back. If it was up to me, it would be all three teams. All three teams gave me an opportunity. I don't think I was in. I think for all three teams, I made a Pro Bowl. So I can't say at least all three of these teams didn't see at least me be great one year. You know what I mean? So and I made a difference on every team I was on, them 3 teams, and like realizing now that I'm retired, I'm like, I made a Pro Bowl on 3 different teams, and at the ages I was, and so I'm like, I got to be proud of myself for that. And I wish I could have gave Arizona more, but it was like the end of my career when I was kind of beat up and everything like that. But I was able to give a Pro Bowl, so it made them look good. It made Todd Bowles look good. It made Bruce Arians look good. It made everyone around look good, and hopefully it made Atlanta feel a little bad for letting me go at an early stage. But also, like I said, I wasn't a consistent. I wasn't a great pro off the field. So a lot of stuff I did, and I give myself grace because sometimes when you're put in that spotlight and you look at who they give you the image of to be, sometimes you take the wrong stuff from it. Like people told me to be like Lawrence Taylor. I don't know about y'all, but if y'all hear about his off the field stuff,
yeah,
it's a little different. You're trying to be like this manly man. You want to be able to outdrink people. You want to be able to outfight people. You don't want to take trash from everybody. So a lot of times, like they'll put you in a category, and they don't understand that might not be you. And I think a lot of times my focus was off because I was trying to be something I wasn't. I didn't drink and smoke or nothing before I came to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And want to be a cool teammate. I wanted to go out with my teammates and hang out. I wanted to do the stuff like that. And also, I didn't have a genuine male figure. Like, I didn't have a father or anything. So a lot of times I looked at my cousins or I looked at my peers, especially if not playing a lot of football. You want to see like what is everybody else doing? Because I would see guys go out and drink and then go play a whole game. I'm like, damn, how y'all do that? They'll come to practice like that, and I'm like, and then like instead of saying like how good you probably would without that stuff, you see what you can do with it. Like I think the worst thing about us being men, we can find out we can get away with stuff. Like I still can pull a girl with a gut. Yeah, it's like something with guys, we don't need to figure some stuff out. Like and I never drank before a game, but I used to drink after the game because I didn't take pills. And to this day, I don't like taking pills. Anybody know me? But when I learned that I can drink and not feel that pain, at least for like while I'm drinking, oh my God, it was just. Then it transferred into when I had bad feelings of like I think somebody told me this, and it does make sense. You drink to I guess the hyper, the good. You don't drink to sponge the bad. So I think when I started drinking just to get the bad, like if you're having a good time, y'all just won a game, you go have a couple of drinks, that's cool. But if you're going in there, and then also not having someone to ever tell me, like my mom, I thought I was going to hell anyway, because my mom was like a Christian. So, sex, drinking, going out, everything that I saw in college, I was like, I can't do any of that because I'm going to go to hell and I can't do it. And I was like, it was a strict game. It was strictly mental. And then, but, when you talk to your kids or you talk to even these younger guys, you just got to tell them, I think you got to just tell them how to control stuff. It's not bad to drink. It's not bad to have sex. It's not bad to do this. But you got to have control, and you got to put rules and regulations on yourself. Don't just go wilding because you can.
Right. That's great advice. That's great advice.
That's excellent advice, because that we need more of, because I do think this younger generation, especially in college now, when you do get the money, you're the number one player on campus. You have everything going for you. You think you can go buck wild.
Right.
You do.
Right.
And so my second question, I know it's way early. I mean, we're just now at the end of May. Who's going to win the Super Bowl next year?
Like, honestly, I have no effing clue. Watching football this year, Philly did a great job, and I was on Kansas City. I thought Kansas City was going to win it last year, even though they had some fluke wins. Their season really didn't look like they were a great team, but it was just like that bully. Or if anybody had like your mom or something, even though you bigger than your mom, my grandfather was like 5'7", but I still wouldn't fight. It was kind of how I saw how I saw Kansas City, but then Philly came and just showed a different criteria of what football players are supposed to be like. And I think the big thing about Philly, they're not hyped. Like you see Kansas City, they be partying the whole offseason. You don't see Philly out there partying. You don't see Hurts out here doing something. They're trying to build a dynasty over there. You might see Saquon like doing a little event or something, at the Met Gala, but you don't see nobody from Philly out there wilding like, oh yeah, we gonna do it again. They kind of like, they saying Jalen Hurts is like the 91st best player in the league or something. I read on thing. I'm like, man, so they just fueling the fire. So I can see another dynasty in Philly coming if they get right. You know what I'm saying? So in Kansas City, I don't know. So for me right now, I'm gonna take Philly, but I think everybody has made great leaps and bounds this offseason just from the draft. This draft is looking. I can see the Rams being a possible flavor. I can see Tampa even getting better. I just see all these teams got better from the draft and even on the offseason. And I think the knockdown of Kansas City losing that thing gave everybody else confidence. Like, okay, we might be all right.
Yeah.
We might be all right. Seattle went and got the Vikings' old quarterback. I mean, it's just like it's everything is so scattered. Philly's the only team that I kind of, because they won it last year, but I can't call it, man. And I would want to say the Falcons or the Jets, but they're young teams, and let's just see. I think there will be two good teams. I think because I love both the coaches. I know both the coaches personally. It's crazy because I played with AG, and Raheem was actually worked for the Jets when I in 2000, and both of them guys are like leading the team. That is amazing to me though. Like the teams that I played for, the Falcons, and I know both these guys personally. So
I think the Jets hit it out of the park with the Aaron Glenn hire. I think he is phenomenal. Great defensive mind.
They got to give him years though. I just hope they don't just give him a year or two and be like, well, because I think this year might be kind of shaky because you got to get everybody going in the same thing. You got to make sure the quarterback's good. You got to make sure the running game's good. You got to make sure these guys ain't not playing hard or not focused because they ain't got their contracts yet. It's a lot of stuff that comes with football that people don't understand. You can have a great player. He still can play good, but he's still getting in the back of his mind like, man, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get this. So I'm going to play good, but they might not be playing. And I'm not saying that people do it on purpose, but it's just like common sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you holding your newborn baby, like it's different when they're 5 compared to their new. Like, yeah. I ain't want to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Like you got a 5-year deal from you got nothing. Like, I gotta hold this baby real gentle. I'm gonna play my ass off. I gotta be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's something that's wrong with not just the NFL, in my opinion, but like even the NBA is like these coaches, it's such a win now league or leagues that it's like in any level, whether it's high school, college, and or the NFL, you have to build something. And to build something, it doesn't take 1 year. It doesn't take 2 years. It could take 3 to 5 years, depending on where you are when that rebuild or that building with a new coach starts. And I hope that some of these owners start to realize, like, yes, we want to win now, but you have to build something to win. And if you expect a championship in year one with a new coach, a new system, could be a new quarterback, it's really it's hard to do nowadays.
Yeah, give me a chance to play with my toys. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just give me this thing. I just learned it. Like, you give me a PlayStation and expect me to be great at the Madden game. I never played it before. So you got to learn. You got to learn who's going to be good and who's going to be bad on the team. But also, sometimes you can tell when coaches are not going to work. Like, and we know that. We see some coaches and we're like, oh yeah, he need to be gone. But Aaron Glenn, he's the kind of guy. Raheem, I know he's the kind of guy that's going to win eventually. You just got to give them their years and make sure that the people. Just got to get people that follow their lead and, have the confidence that your head coach has. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of confidence comes being the head coach, man.
They got to buy in. And I think a prime example of a team buying in to a coach is the Detroit Lions. I think that whole organization bought into Dan Campbell the moment he stepped behind that podium for his first interview. And it shows. I mean, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn bought in. The defense and the offense bought into the coordinators who bought into the coach, and they built something really good up there. But like you said, Dan Campbell had time. He's had 3-4 years to establish that, and I think if they get that time as well, I think they could be really well.
See, Gerard Mayo didn't get time. He didn't get time.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo didn't get time. No, he didn't. And I don't know about that.
Yeah. I could not believe
that's the Patriots.
That
Nobody likes the Patriots anyway. So that's I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah, I thought what they did to Gerard Mayo was terrible. You got to give time, and 1 year that's like nothing. It's almost like you didn't even become the coach in a sense, because you're given this and you're asked to do this. It's not. I'm not gonna say it wasn't his team, but it wasn't even like he had to work with what he had in your.
You said exactly what it was. It's like when you see a head coach come in 1 year and they win like a lot of games. You got to credit the coach that was there before, even if it's like a bad coach. Like if they win a lot next year, my mind thinks that, hey, they would have kept the other coach. We never know if that would have been that kind of win or not. Like when just like when people go to different things, it's a part of football. But I do get it though, because sometimes if we don't see things that's in the locker room, and if he did say something about, I think that they ain't playing tough or something like that, and I think that kind of lost him his job. As a head coach, you can't say your players aren't playing tough. They're different if they give you the job, but it's been hold through the year. Now you say, well, they're not playing hard. That's your job to make sure they play hard. So I can see how that might have manipulated him from not having a job. You got to watch what you say, your head coach too. You can't say my players ain't do this, my player ain't that. Well, that's your player. You can't say that.
So we have matter of fact, one of our other podcasts that we have on our network. He wants to know who was the hardest or most frustrating quarterback you had to play against.
Well, honestly, it was never the quarterbacks. It was the people in front of me. Teams bringing chip blocks, and early in my career, it was the worst. I used to get doubled and tripled. I used to get like chipped a lot. They used to move the tight end to my side. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of teams, but I would say that the hardest quarterback probably was Cam Newton. I remember, especially his rookie year. I was actually thinking about this maybe yesterday or day before. I was like, man, I missed like 3 sacks in the game on him. And I was like, because I was watching something about him, and they was talking about it was a Super Bowl game, and they were showing Von Miller and Ware going just crazy on him. And I was like, man, I needed that Cam when I played. Because when Cam, he went out, he's in that Super Bowl. He was all of that. I was like, I remember I had this guy wrapped up, but he was a rookie then, and he was just throwing me off. I was like, so I missed 3. But Cam was probably the toughest guy, like, that I can remember. There was a lot of guys that were tough to get to, but like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type guys, because of the line. The line play was different. They wanted to protect these guys. Playing against Tom Brady, people don't understand he was great because you didn't want to be that guy that got Tom Brady hurt. So these guys used to play different. You know what I mean? Like I tell people like, oh, how the line ain't. I said, dude, I said, literally, would you want to be that guy? Like he was the guy that got Tom Brady hurt. You know you're gonna lose your job. You're
gone.
That's why those guys play like that. It's a big difference. When you see these quarterbacks getting like sacked all these time, I'm like, man, they probably don't have a good relationship with the line like they say they do. Because if the line respects you, you ain't getting touched like that. Like they're gonna do all they can. They'll get a holding call before they let. And that's what the New England used to take holding calls before they let somebody get a clean shot on top.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, but it makes complete sense. You're going to do whatever you can to protect that quarterback, especially Tom Brady. Whether it's penalty. Wow, that is awesome.
Well, is there? Again, we appreciate you coming on, Mr. John. This has been really awesome. Is there anything that you maybe want to get out to the younger generation, to the people playing now, the kids coming up, the kids in college, anything like that about kind of going forward with their football careers?
Well, as much as I want to say it, and hopefully I can hit 1 or 2 people, but how the world is constructed now, it's way harder to really connect because they see so much joy in spending money, which I did too, because people around me did that. I would say focus on what made you get there. Like focus on what made you get there. Because just because you got it, like I said, it's 120 yards, it's not 100. We focus on 100 yards. We focus on crossing that line, and we think, oh, we can relax. No, you got to go through the back of the end zone, bro. You still got an extra point to do. So it ain't just 100 yards; it's 120 plus extra point. And the extra point is being in the media. The extra point is doing foundation. The extra point is making sure that you build relationships outside of football. People are going to love you for what you did on the field, but people are going to love you more when they can get to talk to you or they can make a phone call. I'm with Dustin and Derek right now because I'm building relationships. It might be 10 years from now, and that's what people don't understand. It might be 10 years from now, y'all exploded. You be like, you know what? I remember John came with my contact. He's 56 years old now, but hell, we're going to bring him back. John, come on through. So I would say build as much relationships as you can, and I mean real relationships, not like the IG relationships, not like this, like this. No, people ask you to come to their event, go to their event. People ask you to, you got this, do it. You don't have to be always the star. You don't have to be the star. Oh, so and so's gonna be there, and I'm gonna be, no. Just show your face. If you look at the podcast now, the ones that are most popular are the people talking about what they did in the past. These people that have not won a championship. Gilbert Arenas didn't win a championship. All he do is just talk about what his life was like.
Yeah.
He talk about, you see a lot of these guys, like Kevin Garnett won one too. Him and they won, but most people are listening to their stories. Oh, I was in the All-Star game with Kobe. People hearing stuff. Oh, I remember LeBron did this. It's like, because at first I used to hate it because I'm like, dude, this ain't even these people's lives. But I'm like, yeah, it really is their lives because they were in that space. So if you think about it, just being in the area, like you see people like, oh, Michael Jackson came in there. It's just a lot of stuff. I mean, I've hung out with AI, I've hung out with Shaq, I hung out with Charles Barkley. But it was just like, for me, it was like I was a fan. You know, it was a fan. It ain't stories I want to tell because it was my story. It's fun. You know, I got to hang out. It was a great opportunity, but I wouldn't like go on a podcast and talk about it because I'd rather talk about my life. But also, like I said, just get out. Like, don't be afraid to sit with that person. Don't be afraid to talk to that person. Worst thing they can say is no. You know what I mean? The worst thing they can say is no. And I would say, appreciate every day. And I know it sounds like all these stuff sounds so cliche, but we older now, so we understand like these, like you can go in a day and just try to lay in the bed all day, wasting time. Like, you know, I do sign language now, I do piano, and most of the stuff you can go online. You don't have to leave your house to learn. So always continue to try to learn, whether it's financially, whether it's podcasting, whether it's, you know, I don't know like what this word means. Look it up. It's just so much stuff in life that you can learn, and especially as a young kid. But always be available because you never know who wants to see you.
That's awesome.
That's great advice.
Well, we again,
advice.
man, I appreciate you so much for responding back to me when I messaged you and coming on with us. Anytime, you're welcome to come on here anytime you. Like I said, this is the Bearded Bros. You got a beard, you're more than welcome. So yeah, I mean, you just like I said, you messaged me. I know you said maybe it's something you want to do in the future. Want to just kind of keep getting some under your belt, and like I said, you're more than welcome to join us anytime you want to.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Y'all were very professional. You handled everything right, and I love the little pre-thing, man. Them little pictures of me look fresh though.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. You can sit here and say some people might not know who you are, but in 2006, we were one John Abraham away in Dallas from winning the Super Bowl. We needed that defensive end to go with Bear and Roy Williams in the back end, Terrence Newman. We were one John Abraham away from winning the Super Bowl, and I firmly believe that.
I appreciate it, bro. It means a lot for real. People that know football know me, so that means a lot now. But I'm just trying to get the rest of the world to understand. Like, yeah, he was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yes, you were more than pretty good, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say you were way more than pretty good. I think I was pretty good in high school, and I did nothing with it. So, so you're more than pretty good.
Well, all right, Mr. John. Well, like I said, we appreciate you, and man, we're going to definitely keep up with you, and I hope you kind of keep up with us every now and then, and just check in on us, see how we're doing, and just, I guess, enjoy the rest of your day. And well, here we go right here. We'll end with this. Put the man in the Hall of Fame. That's it. We'll end on that one. That's perfect, Mr. William. All right. Thank you, Mr. John.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
You too, man. Thank you.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, whenever we had Trey on, that was, and at the time he wasn't in the NFL, he was in the UFL, you know, and then he told us where he was at, and then he ended up, you know, he's in the Saints now, and so obviously that was awesome to have him on at the time, and then having John Abraham on is in some ways, like, you know, as a fan of football, you're like, man, you're kind of speechless to have this guy on. Like, he played 15 years in the league, he had all these sacks and NFL.
So I was doing a little. So I didn't bring it up. I just forgot. But so since 1960, he is 18th all time in sacks. Okay, since 1960. Since 1982, he's 13th in sacks. So the 1960 was unofficial stats. The 82 started official stats. So he's 5 different. And like he said, he's above Dwight Freeney. He's above J.J. Watt. I mean, there are people that he's above that people are calling certified Hall of Famers. And like he said, I think he put it perfectly. It's because they won Defensive Player of the Year. They've done, they've won the Super Bowl. But he is right up there, if not better than them. I mean, the dude was a game changer for Atlanta. I don't remember him a whole lot in New York. That was kind of the early 2000s. But I remember him very well in Atlanta.
Yes, I mean,
he
obviously
was unbelievable in Atlanta.
Yes, he was, and
I want to say that
like
was Tony Gonzalez and Vic and
yes,
Warwick Dunn. Oh, yes.
When he said that someone said he was lucky to get a Pro Bowl, again, he didn't say who said that, but whoever said that, they obviously don't know. I'm not gonna say they don't know the game of football. But to sit there and say that he is lucky just to get a Pro Bowl, he got 5.
And 3 All-Pros. 3
All-Pros. And he was a Hall of Famer at 30. He was a Pro Bowler at 35, playing the defensive side of the ball in that era. And we can all agree that 2000s era, it was a tougher league to play in than it is now because, well, almost every league in some ways gotten softer. You can't do this. You can't do that. Yep. He went through the high and low chipping where you can hit up line, hit down low. He said he was getting triple teamed and probably was getting held by all 3 of them. And you had to go through. There was a lot more things you could do back in that era.
So I pulled this up. I just pulled it up, which I pulled it up earlier. But I just want to let you know some of his stats. Okay, this is as a defensive end. So he only played 6 games his rookie season because he got hurt. He had 15. I'm gonna give you all. I'm gonna give you total tackles and then solo tackles. 15 total, 11 solo in 6 games as a DN. Not bad for a rookie. The next year, coming back off of an injury, he had 67 combined tackles, 57 solo tackles, and 13 sacks. Coming back off of an injury as a sophomore. The next year, he had 62, 49 solo, and 10 sacks. And then 2 years later, he had 58, 44, 10 and a half. Then he goes to Atlanta, gets hurt again in Atlanta. In 8 games, he had 21 tackles, 4 sacks. Comes back off of an injury. What's he do? 37 solo tackles and 16 and a half sacks. This dude he's not just somebody that was there. I mean, he was a wrecker. I mean, he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of 14 years, double-digit sacks. No, 9 of 13. 9 of 13.
No question.
Yeah,
no question. The NFL needs to give him an opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame. But here, you know the problem is there, and this is the problem with all the awards, all the Hall of Fame, opportunities, is he may not have been the flashy guy. He didn't, like he said, he didn't do the interviews outside of the facility. He didn't go and do all these other things that maybe some of those people did. I cannot. It's almost like you don't get recognized for your game because you didn't do all the extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But hear me out. But when you go into the Hall of Fame, you were going in on paper because of all those things you did on the field. That's what I don't understand about all that. Same thing with awards. It's the same thing.
Just off the rip right here. This is what I looked up earlier as well. He has more sacks than Lawrence Taylor. He has half a sack less than Jared Allen, who's a Hall of Famer. He's got more than Von Miller, who they say is a Hall of Famer because he's got 2 rings. Now, Von Miller's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking
Right.
Von. Dwight Freeney, he's got 8 more than Dwight Freeney in less years. He's got 20 more than J.J. Watt in 1 more year, which he said he played two seasons. He missed 40 games. Or, I'm sorry, he missed 40 games in his career. So that's 2 whole seasons that he missed.
Yeah, that's 2 seasons right there. 2 seasons.
I mean, this guy he's unbelievable. Not only as an athlete, he's an unbelievable person. Like I said, I cannot thank him enough for. I know I say this all the time, but I guarantee you he was tired of seeing me in his message box because I was checking it. Dude, I told my wife right before we got on. I said I'm a little nervous. Like I got a feeling something came up. Maybe he's not going to be able to come tonight or whatever. And like as soon as he popped in, I sent that invite and he popped in. I texted. I was like, he's in. Like he's in. Like I feel safer now.
What I appreciate from him too is giving 2 people on a podcast in the middle of nowhere, East Texas, an opportunity to speak with us.
Yeah,
that shows you his character. That shows you he wants to do things for the world, not just a community.
Like he said, show up. That's what he said.
Show up. Exactly. He's show up and be available. He said it right. It came out of his mouth. So, Mr. John Abraham, we appreciate you so much. If you're watching,
he has become one of my top 5 favorite NFL players of all time.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Easily.
And he needs to get the love he deserves because his stats alone speak for itself. All right. Well, again, we appreciate him. We have a lot to cover still. Let's talk about the game today. Let's just start with that.
I did not see that coming.
Not in a game 7. No. Oklahoma City came out firing and he, Derek, I'm surprised by it, but I'm not surprised because I don't think OKC wanted to get in a battle like they did most of all those 6 games. They didn't want to do that with Denver. But here's something I saw with that game. I think this is where Denver screwed up. For one, Jokic only shot the ball 9 times.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Why is your best player, your most consistent player, a triple-double average guy, shooting the ball 9 times? That's 2 times a quarter you're shooting the ball. Jamal Murray shot the ball twice as many times and only made it 6 times. I understand it's a game of basketball. I understand it's a team game. But for him to get 9 shots, they were never going to win. Can't do that. I understand he had 7 assists. I understand he's a point big man. I get it. But OKC was going to come out on all cylinders to make sure that they didn't get in a neck-and-neck battle because they knew down the stretch that the Nuggets are tough. And they came out firing, and they just exploded and never let off the gas, kind of like what the Knicks did the other night. They did not want to take Game 7 back to Boston, and they came out won by 50 points. I went 50, but it was close. And with that being said, our conference matchups are set. Our championship matchups are set. You got Minnesota, which not surprised they're here now. Maybe in the beginning we weren't really high on them, but shows that, in my opinion, Anthony Edwards is still one of the first or second best players in the playoffs.
He is absolutely. And I'm not going to say he's dragging this team to the finals, but this is a very LeBron-esque type.
Offensively, he definitely is. There's no
him, and I think it's him and Julius Randle.
Just Randle
are head and shoulders above everybody. But right before we kind of get into that, this Denver game, I'm going to tell you the difference in the game for me. Aaron Gordon was not himself.
No, he was hurt.
He was hurt. He tried to go with it. He gave him 25 minutes, but it wasn't the Aaron Gordon of game 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was.
It's almost like he played 12 minutes and not 25 because he was literally. Hobbled.
And I hate that. And I put it in the chat. I think this team is done. I think Gordon may resign, but I think if he gets a lot of money, he'll go elsewhere. I would cut Michael Porter Jr. I wouldn't even let him back on the plane to head back to Denver. He can catch an Uber or he can stay in Oklahoma City. I don't care either way. He's from Missouri. He can go just straight up north and be home.
Dang, you said not even hop. He can't even come back on the plane.
No, we'll send his stuff via UPS.
Hey, can he at least get a Denver Uber? Can he get a Denver Uber in him, or does he got to?
He doesn't even need to come back to the state of Colorado. He was atrocious all series. I mean, he was pathetic. He played 23 minutes, had 6 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 1 defensive rebound, 0 for 4 from 3, and 2 of 8 shooting. Like, and this was like a series of. I mean, this is what he did all series. Let's see here. He had game 1 was his best. I'm sorry, game 4 was his best one. He had 21 points. Then he had 3, 2, 10, and 6. Like, yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing here? He had 2 points in game 1, 8 in game 2. So he had more points in game 4 than he did in 4 of the games combined. But yeah, I go straight up to Missouri, go to Kansas City, and hang out. That's where you're going to be.
Okay, you say the team is broken. You think they break this up in some kind of way? Okay, so Jokic isn't going anywhere, I don't think. Right? I don't think he. I mean, hear me out. Like I'm saying, when you look at it right off the jump, he's their best player. Like, they're not wanting him to go anywhere. Let me say that. Like, that's they're still going to build around him regardless of what happens. I'm not saying he doesn't want to go nowhere. I'm just saying that Michael Porter Jr., I think his time is up, and I do agree. Like, he's had some good moments over the years. I mean, he got drafted by him. Like, we get all that. Like, no, and I'll give him this. This is what I'll give him. When he came out of Missouri, he went and played for Missouri, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure he played in Missouri. He was hurt, if you remember, his back. Okay? I did not think he'd be where he is. I'm going to give him that. I thought he was going to be a Ben Simmons bust type player. I'm going to say that because of a back injury. He dealt with that back injury through high school, went to Missouri for 1 year, and came out the draft. I think he only played maybe half a season, if that, in Missouri. And
he played half a season all the way to the conference tournament because he was good. In college, the year that he was in college, I had picked them like preseason. Me and a guy I work with, I was like, they're going to the finals. Like, he's taking them all the way through the tournament, and then he got hurt right before the conference championship, conference tournament. I'm sorry.
So you got him. I mean, again, I think it's time to move on from him because you've got to have somebody consistently shooting, and he hasn't had that. I mean, his best year, I thought, was the year they won the championship. They were all just phenomenal, right? But here's the one person I'm curious about. What do you think? Is Jamal Murray's time done too?
No.
You think that? Do you think so? You think he stays?
I'm going to tell you what I would do if I'm Denver. I would sign Gordon Hayward to a 1-and-1. 1 year with a not Gordon Hayward. I'm sorry, Aaron Gordon to a 1-and-1. Yeah,
Gordon, know if he was still playing. Or
Aaron Gordon to a 1-and-1 with a player option for the second year. I would run it back one more time with Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and Murray. And if it's a first-round exit again, or a first-round exit or a second-round exit again, I think you just blow it up because it's done. Everybody else has built their teams and are looking really well. You can blow it up. If you want to keep Jokic, keep Jokic. If you want to keep Murray, keep Murray. I think you trade the other. And I think there are more teams that need a point guard than more teams that need a center. So that's kind of what I see as far as Denver goes.
Okay. Well, I mean, now kudos to OKC. I was going to say something about OKC. They got over the hump.
Yes.
I was. Oh, perfect. Well, Jacob, we'll talk about that in a second. We've been talking about that some, but we'll talk about that in a second. But,
yes, yeah, we will, Jake.
OKC got over the hump. I'm actually happy for them in that because I think that if you remember right before the playoffs, it was everyone predicted this, and I was one of them. There was 3 teams that would make it. Everyone was high on the Lakers, even though that defense was bad. It was the Nuggets, and then it was OKC as a third team to potentially make it to the final, to the Western Conference Finals, not even the finals. Lakers got murdered round 1. Okay, we saw how bad the defense was for them. Then you had Denver, who went 7 games with the Clippers. Respectfully, we both thought the Clippers were better than they've been in a while because they were healthy. Took a very good Clippers team to 7-1, and they get to OKC and Game 7 again. It was OKC's time, and I'm happy for Shea. And this is the thing I'm unsure about is I thought for Minnesota, the better matchup for them was OKC from their team overall versus another whole team. I will talk about that in a minute, but that was the better matchup for them. So I like this Western Conference matchup. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to watch. And then on the other side, you have the Knicks and the Pacers.
The Knicks look really good. This is 90s. This is the 90s Eastern Conference.
Yes, it reminds me of the 90s. It really does, like the Reggie Millers versus the
Latrell Sprewell, and I mean, yeah.
So I'm excited for both these matchups. I really am.
I want to say the Knicks, but I don't know if you can count out the Pacers. I think they are playing. They are playing so good. The 4-1 against the Cavs was an absolute shocker to me. Like, I mean, maybe if it had went 6 games, I'd have been like, oh, okay, maybe the Pacers are really good. But 4-1, I don't know if that was a what would be the word I'm looking for? If it was like a wolf in sheep's clothing type thing, like they're going to come out and they're going to get 4-0, they're going to lose. It's going to be the worst conference finals in the last 20 years. Or if they're going to come out and we've got a game 6 or 7 ahead of us. The Knicks look really well. Karl Anthony Towns he's not playing great, but he's doing what they need. And I will say this, that might be a hot take. The best person in the NBA playoffs right now is Jalen Brunson, and it's not even close. Jalen Brunson is playing phenomenal, especially in the fourth quarter. Reggie Miller and John Stockton would call these games on TNT. Yes, Ryan, I agree.
Dude, you're talking about a Hall of Fame commentary group.
Yes.
If these two could call the game, that would be legendary.
And at halftime, they would have to get out there and fight because that's what they do. That's what they do, right? Those were great games. I mean, those were literally the 90s. I mean, like people want to know what the 90s basketball was like and why we think Jordan is so great. Go watch the film. I mean,
Hey, but something I do want to say is I think this is an afterthought with the Pacers. We got to remember they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
When you think about that, I'm not surprised they're here. Maybe in the beginning of the playoffs, we weren't sold on them. So they go in there again. We weren't really shocked they beat the Bucks. The Bucks were beat up. They didn't have Dame, and even when Dame came back, look what happened. He wasn't healthy. He got hurt. Now look what happened. He's out for the whole next year, right?
Yeah.
We weren't surprised. And then we go to the Cavaliers. We knew they were banged up a little bit. But they still beat a Cavs team who was the best team in the East all year long, and they beat them comfortably. Comfortably beat that team. And I'm going to call this now, Derek. Give me the Pacers in 6 games. I am taking the Pacers to win this series.
I'm going to take the Knicks in 7. I think it goes 7.
I love it. I'm so glad you picked against me because I really do think I'm more excited about this series, which is surprising because, listen, the East is getting some love this year.
Yes.
Like, it's usually like, the East. Whoever comes out, not worried about them. That's not the case this year. Like the East can actually win this year. Like I think that Ryan says I have my money with you, Justin. I love this. Listen, Tyrese Halliburton is on a mission.
Yes.
I'm overrated. Okay. I'm going to show you how overrated I am. I may not give you 20, 30, 40 points a game, but I'm going to give you 25, 10, and 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And that's what I love about the Pacers. I love the team. They're Bulldogs. They fight. And I think they will beat the Knicks in 6
I'm going to
games.
tell you why it's so surprising that the Pacers are where they're at. And it comes down to one game. It comes down to one game. Them and the Knicks were separated in the standings by one game. And they actually owned the head-to-head versus New York. So had they had won one more game, they would be the 3 seed and not the 4 seed. So we look at the standings and we see Cleveland 1, Boston 2, New York 3. Those are the 3 best teams. Pacers 4, Bucks 5, Detroit 6. So we look at that standing and we look at that number. And that's what I think is so makes it like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the Pacers are actually here. When if they win one more game, now we're talking about the 3 seed Pacers versus the 4 seed Knicks. Or are we? Do the Knicks get past Cleveland? We don't know. We don't know because we didn't have that. All because of one game. But yeah, and then as far as the other one, man, honestly, after what I saw today, I would be absolutely shocked if the Thunder don't win in 5.
I'm as bad as I like to pick against you because I like having the different odds. Anthony Edwards is a superstar. And not in the making. He's a superstar.
Absolutely.
Okay? Bona fide superstar. He could be inconsistent, but it's okay. He's their best scorer. You expect the inconsistencies. He can shoot 5 for 16 for threes if you want. I don't agree with that because we had that conversation the last week about all these threes, but he's their best player. He's going to take the most shots. You expect it at times, right? But remember, he's a two-way star. He's a phenomenal defender. He'll take on your best player, and that's what he wants. He wants he wants to go against the best defender, then he wants to be the best defender. And Julius Randle is phenomenal too. Like
they're one player away.
That's exactly where I'm at. They're one, not even necessarily a superstar, but a 2B type player to those two. Like
yes,
whoever that is, that's what they're needing.
Yeah, so, you have Ant is your 1A plus. Julius Randle is your 1B or your B1. Let me rephrase. He's your B1. You need a B2. You need that third option offensively who can also play defense for you. You need like a 3-and-D, create your own shot type person. I know they got DiVincenzo and Rudy Gobert. He's not it. I mean, he's a rim protector. If you have to take somebody out in the fourth quarter because you can't trust them shooting free throws, that's a liability. I'm sorry. You don't need to be in the game anyway.
I completely agree with that.
But I will tell you this: I will throw a smoking hot take out. If the Timberwolves win this series, they win it all. And I think they beat the Knicks or the Pacers in 5.
That's tough, man. I think I'll say this, like I said, okay. I think OKC wins in 5 because I think they're going to be too much for.
Yeah, I think they're too deep.
But if something crazy were to happen, whether it's a crazy injury, OKC just starts flat multiple games, and Timberwolves find a way to pull this out. I don't know if they beat the Knicks or the Pacers. I mean, I think that they would definitely. They're not going to get swept. I think it'd be a 7-game series. I just don't know if I have them beating the Knicks or the Pacers, especially if both teams are going to continue to play the way they have. I can't count out the Timberwolves in this series because I counted them out against the Lakers. I counted them out against Golden State, but I didn't know Steph was going to get hurt. So, I'm pretty sure I think multiple people had Golden State. You may have even had them winning just because of it was they lacked scoring, and we saw that they were already a little bit lacking scoring even when Steph was playing because Jimmy's not your he's not he's a scorer, but he's not a shot creator necessarily. He's a mid-range guy that can shoot threes from time to time. That's his game, and he's a defender. Draymond's not going to give you scoring. He will, but he's a primarily defender, and it was Steph. Steph was going to be the scorer. And then Jonathan Kuminga showed up when Steph was gone, and I don't know how you didn't find a way to get him worked in earlier. I don't understand why him and Jimmy Butler were affecting each other. But, I mean, outside of that, man, I just don't see how the Timberwolves beat OKC when OKC, in my opinion, got past the tougher series was going to be this one versus the next one, which is the Timberwolves. Yeah. So I have OKC in 5, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's going to be fun.
Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Well, so let's go back to old Jake's question.
Yeah, yes.
So I don't know if you're still here, Jake. I hope you are. But I've got 2 teams that I could see him getting traded to. One team that I've been hearing rumors about. Okay. Now, I've got a 4th team that depends on what Oklahoma City does in the playoffs. If Oklahoma City wins it, Giannis isn't going to Oklahoma City. You can take them out. They'll run it back with their same squad. I've been hearing the Boston Celtics in the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade talk. And listen to the package. It's Peyton Pritchard. It's Drew Holiday or Derek White. Drew Holiday or Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, and like 5 first-round picks and pick swaps. So they'll run it back with Brown, Tatum, and Giannis. Well, it'll be Giannis and Brown because Tatum's out all next year. So they'll run it with Brown and Giannis next year with whoever else is left on the team. And Milwaukee gets Giannis. They get Derek White or Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, and a plethora of picks.
Wow. Boston does have the picks.
Boston does have the picks. That would help Boston shred the salary. That would help those 2, Holiday and Porzingis, would help match the salary from Giannis coming over. So that's a very, very real possibility from what I'm reading on Twitter and all that kind of stuff.
Derek, I'm gonna tell you right now, that team, I knew they had to shed salary, but that team was not on my radar for him to go there.
I was not either until I seen it today, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
Because they wouldn't necessarily have to have a bad year. They may have a subpar year, but not
they could still do a 5th seed, maybe 6th seed. I could see that.
Thinking.
Because Milwaukee will drop out once Giannis leaves. Yeah. So no Dame, no Giannis. And then I've heard Golden State will probably be my 2nd team. I think Golden State gets in the running, and I think they do Steph and Jimmy and Giannis. They give Steph one more run to see what happens, and just see if they can make something with one more run for Steph. So if they can get him 5 and really put him in that different tier of all-time greats. And I've said this before, if Steph gets 5, Steph goes to top 10 all-time for me. I'd have to relook at my
he has to. I mean,
I think I'd have to relook at my list and see exactly who comes off, who stays on. But Steph would be a top 10 player of all time for me. And where I think he's going, I think he ends up in Houston.
Oh, my God.
Not San Antonio. No. He's not coming to San Antonio. I think he ends up in Houston. They've got the picks. They've got a top 10 pick in the lottery via somebody. I forgot who it was. Via a trade, you swap. They've got the assets. So, and I want to say Freddie Van Fleet is on the last year of his contract coming up. So that's going to be $50 million that they'll have in cap space the following year to go get 2026 NBA free agents. Let's just see who the 2026 NBA free agents are. and we can see who they can package with him. They're gonna keep Thompson. They're gonna keep him in Thompson.
And they're keeping Jalen Green. They're not letting him go either, I don't think.
Yeah, no. Harden could come back. C.J. McCollum, Chris Middleton.
Harden reunion into Houston would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Yeah, they can. There's some people they can put around Giannis and whoever. Austin Reeves would be a free agent. He has a player option that year. That's a shooter around Giannis. But yeah, I think Houston is where he goes. If Boston doesn't get in the way. And like I said, this all hinges on Oklahoma City winning it all. If Oklahoma City doesn't win it all, I think they get him because they've got more than any. They got, I think, 34 picks in the next 5 drafts or some crap like that. It's something crazy like that. If
Could you imagine him and Shea, just them two together?
Yeah. I said, I think they could put the best package together and go get him.
So, but here's my question. So, what if OKC does win it?
They run it back. There's no way you break it. There's not, if it's me, there's no way I'm breaking up a team that just won the title. That would be so stupid.
Okay. I mean, I think all those teams are great choices for Giannis. I have a few in mind. The problem with mine are more like fantasy ones because it's either they don't have the assets or they don't have the picks, and like they may have to get a third team involved to make it work, which isn't a bad thing. It happens, but mine are more like I would like to see him here because maybe not say he's the final piece, but he's right there. Like he would definitely take them to another level. And we've talked about some of these teams. I love Detroit.
Yes.
Like they're up and coming. You know, they went from being the worst team in the NBA to a top 6 team in the East, and no one expected that. Again, they're outside of Cade Cunningham, and you don't want to get rid of Duren. Like those are your stars. You don't want to give up the farm for what you built this year to get Giannis and not really getting. You're not. I don't know if you get better. Like I mean, you will get better because Giannis is that he's a game changer for a team. But I don't think they have the assets and the picks, and that would be a team where they'd have to get a third team involved to make that work. Again, mine are all fantasy, but another team I would like to see him at is an Orlando Magic team. Again, they're young, they're up and coming. They like to run, and a lot of these teams they like to run and gun. They like to move fast, and so I would like to see them there. Again, they don't have the most intriguing assets outside of Pablo. They're not going to give up Pablo with a package to get rid of Giannis because you're going to be in the same boat you are now. Mm-hmm. You're wanting to add to what you have, maybe give up a few other things. And I mean, those are really my top two. Again, mine are fantasy ones, and those are like the two teams I would like to see him on because I'd like to see what kind of a jump they would make. But I completely agree with you on your teams. Like, I think those are where he will actually go. But that Boston one, man,
that'd be wild.
That is wild because
I've also heard New York, but man,
who do you let go though?
That's my problem. You're built, and you've built a team that is really good. I mean, top to bottom, they are solid. They are, I would say, they're a perfect rotation, but they all play 47 minutes a game, so there's not really a rotation. But you've got exactly the pieces that you need. I mean, you would have to come off of Hart, Cat,
maybe Bridges. Somebody's got to go.
Yeah,
if not multiple have got to go.
Two of your 3 starters have to go to bring in Giannis. And we've talked about this before. Giannis is a point A to point B player. He's not going to spot up and knock down a 3. He's not going to space the floor for you. Defensively, yeah, you get astronomically better. I mean, there's no doubt. But I don't know if I give up the offensive side of it for the defensive side because you're still going to need somebody that can create a shot and make something happen.
And I'll tell you, Derek, when it comes to New York, there's 2 players I'm not giving up. But you would have to. I'm not giving up Jalen Brunson.
Oh,
There's no way I'm giving him up.
No.
And at this point, I'm not giving up Cat either, because you could almost say Cat is a Giannis, but a better shooter. I'm not going to say he's as good as Giannis, but he's a better shooter. He can defend. Now, he's not the best perimeter defender like Giannis, but he can defend. He's a great shot blocker, and he's good around the rim.
Yeah.
The only difference between him and Giannis is Giannis can defend 1 through 5. But again, Giannis offensively, it doesn't give you what Cat gets you offensively. So I don't know how you do that if you're New York, especially if you go to the finals. Why break it up? Maybe you agree. Like if you're these 4 teams left, I would be surprised if he goes to any of them. Just because if you're starting something, right, and you've built to where you are now, the only way to get is to keep the core and find other ways to get better. If you get Giannis out of these 4 teams, and Minnesota would not be in the mix, in my opinion, but I'm not saying he wouldn't be, because again, that would be intriguing to see him with Ant. That would be crazy. But again, offensively, it doesn't make sense for them. I don't know how you give up all what you've done to just get a guy that you have maybe 3-4 years left of his prime, and then you're rebuilding again. When you've already rebuilt and you've built something, and then now you've got to backtrack and rebuild again.
I'm gonna do a hot take. I love hot takes. You know me. I'm the hot take machine.
Yes, you love the hot take.
If Oklahoma City and New York meet in the finals, loser gets Giannis. I mean, that's what it's gonna be. If Oklahoma City gets there and they lose, they'll put a package together. They'll keep Shea and one other starter, and they'll trade a massive package for Giannis. If New York gets there and they lose, they'll trade Hart or Bridges with Cat and a plethora of picks, and they'll get Giannis. Whoever loses in if those 2 make it, the loser will go get Giannis, whatever it takes.
All right, we're gonna remember that.
Yeah,
we're gonna remember that. Write it down, timestamp it, record it, whatever you gotta do. We're gonna Derek's prediction on the Giannis take here. I love it, man. Dallas Stars, what a win last night!
What a win!
What a win! What a game! It was crazy yesterday. That tournament, it was everywhere. It was wild. Almost got kicked out of the tournament. It was crazy. Okay, so we're coming home, and we haven't ate. We didn't eat. We haven't ate hardly any day. All day we've barely ate because it's all tournament. It was just going crazy. So we're on our way home, and it stormed. We got cut off because it stormed. So we're on our way home. We're going to stop for some food. Where we wanted to go, no electricity. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take you and the kids home. And I was in line where I get food, and I said, holy crap, the Stars are playing. I pull my phone out. I'm blaring it in the car. I act like I'm the #1 hockey fan, and I've watched it for 20 years, and I don't know what's going on in the game. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, holy crap, the Stars are going to win this thing. Like, where I stopped watching, I did not get to watch them score the final goal. I watched the end of the 3rd quarter where it was tied 1-1, and with 30 seconds left, Dallas got the power play. I was like, dude, they're going to score with no seconds left, and they're going to win. And they had some insane shots, but I give it to Winnipeg and that. They
tried, yeah.
Dallas was trying hard. They did not want to go to overtime, and I don't blame them. But I'm glad they won. The only thing, this is where I'm at with Dallas. If they sleep and think that they got it in the bag against is it the Oilers is who they're playing, if I'm right?
I think that's who it is. Let me double check on that.
It's Edmonton. I think it's the Oilers is who they are. They'll lose. Because look what they did to the Golden Knights. I don't think nobody expected that. I mean, I didn't expect it. I'm not your most hockey player guy.
Yes,
I don't know.
The Oilers.
So Dallas has got to come out acting like this team can beat us. If they come out thinking the opposite, like, hey, we got this in the bag, we're going to the finals, I think they lose. But my prediction is I'm going to take Dallas in 6. I'm going Dallas Stars in 6.
I'm going the Stars and 6 as well. I do agree. Matter of fact, I do believe that I said Stars and Oilers in
You did?
in the semis. I mean, in the conference finals.
Because I had Dallas in the Golden Knight, or
Yes, you
Dallas
did.
and it wasn't the Golden Knights. Yeah, that's who I had.
And we had another Game 7 today. Panthers and the Maple Leafs. And the Panthers they are up 3-0 at the end of the second.
No way.
The Maple Leafs. Yep.
Toronto, correct me. Didn't they lead this 3-0 or was it 2-0 when they started to turn around?
I think it was 2-0 when it started to turn around.
So that's Panthers.
Yes.
Wow.
And I want to say AJ picked that, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. Remember, because that's the one I waited on. I was like, oh, come on, AJ. Yeah, it was them. But see, I picked Washington and
I picked
Carolina
Washington as well. I picked the Caps as well.
Does Ovechkin, does he retire? Is this it for him? Or does he give it one more year to try to make another run?
I think he gives it one more year. I don't think he wants to go out winning, getting the record, and then just like kind of leaving like that.
Yeah, because then people will say, "Oh, he just played for the record."
He stat padded. He pulled a LeBron. He just kept going and.
Wow.
But so yeah, hockey's getting good. NBA finals are getting or semi-conference finals are kicking off next week. We got a lot going on. WNBA kicked off, and it kicked off with a complete masterpiece on Friday night by Kelsey Plum. 38 points.
30, yes.
I mean, she looked phenomenal. She played really well, and they don't even have Cameron Brink back yet.
I saw that. I thought they were with that Brink.
And I think when she gets back, it's going to add a whole nother element to that offense. I would love to see Kelsey. I would love to see Kelsey Plum get a ring outside of Las Vegas.
I would too. because well, for one, it shows you how good she really is. I didn't question her worth to the Las Vegas team. Like, I knew how good she was. I knew how good she was at Washington. Like, we knew all that. But for her to go to the Los Angeles, first game, drop 38, I think it's what, 37, 38, whatever it was, shows that, like, she can be the number one on the team.
Absolutely. Even at 34, 36, however old she is.
Yeah, she can be the number one. Yes. She's very, very good. This gives the Sparks a spark that they haven't. Yeah. The Sparks haven't been here in a while. I think the hype for them hasn't been here in a while. By the way, I realized this. I think it was yesterday. I did not know that Skylar Diggins is still playing.
Yes, she is. I remember her at Notre Dame. She was so good at Notre Dame.
I thought she had retired.
No,
she was out there. The game I was looking at, she was dropping buckets. She was, I mean, I did not know she was still playing. But the game that I loved the most outside of Kelsey, you already know where I'm going with this, was the Indiana Fever giving it to the Chicago Sky.
I loved it. I was all for it.
I did too. This Indiana team this isn't a, hey, we're going to squeak in this year. Like, they're going to get in this year. And I think they're going to make a run for this championship this year. Like, there is not going to be a first round exit for me unless something crazy happens for that team. That Indiana team looks good. I know we're early in the season.
They are head and shoulders built above everybody. I mean, there's no question. DeWanna Bonner moved into number 3 all-time scoring in WNBA history. Natasha Howard had 15. Alea Boston had 19 and 13. Kelsey Mitchell had 15. Of course, Clark, 20, 10, and 10. Unbelievable triple-double out of the gate. Do you know that she has 25% of triple-doubles in WNBA history?
Really?
Yes. Yes. And this is her first game of her second year. I will tell you what I was thoroughly upset about yesterday in the game. Haley Van Lith got 4 minutes. She got 4 minutes. I said this when she got drafted. The absolute worst team she could have went to was Chicago because of how she played at LSU with Reese. They do not go well together. She's only getting 4 minutes. She was 2 for 2 in 4 minutes, had 4 points. I hope she gets out of there as fast as she can. But yes, this Fever team have absolutely no excuse not to win it all. And they share the wealth. That's what's so good about them. So Clark was 6 of 13. Mitchell was 6 of 12. Boston was 8 of 12. Natasha Howard was 6 of 12. So they're all getting their shots. They're man, they just looked good. They looked the part across the board.
And I'll tell you another team that coming off championship, New York Liberty looks good too.
They look great. I didn't know.
They handed it to Las Vegas. The first game. I mean, New York
Las
on a
Vegas
mission.
Misses Kelsey Plum. They miss that leader, that somebody that can control the offense.
Another scorer, because now it's just Asia Woosh.
It's
her and then whoever else can score.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
The Valkyries do not look good at all. I know they're new, and I'm sure that at some point they're going to get it together. But Kate Martin did not look good. She was 0 for 3 for 2 points. She hit 2 free throws. You can tell that the WNBA players watch way too much NBA basketball. The Valkyrie were 9 of 35 shooting 3-pointers. 9 of 35. They did not look good. That's half of over half of their shots. They only shot 63 shots. 35 of them were 3-pointers.
Hey, I do like seeing a new team though. I love the outfits.
I love the growth.
Team.
That's growth.
The growth, that shows you the NBA is growing. They added a new team. It's going to be a rough year for them. It's going to be a rough year, and hey, listen, that's fine because look at all the most recent teams that have built something in different leagues. Las Vegas or the Golden Knights. Look what they've done. They came in and won, I think, a championship in year 2, if I remember right. So it's always nice to see new teams in a new league, especially for the WNBA, because for years they have been in decline. I mean, I don't know if they've ever had a year where they didn't need the NBA's money to continue the league. And this year's gonna be a big league this is gonna be a big year for the WNBA, just in general. They are going to sell out arenas. And bring in the fan base and really build this up, because I know we've talked about this in the past, but the WNBA is in a good spot moving forward, in my opinion. I love where it's going. It's crazy is we're going from NHL hockey and to NBA's soon ending to baseball is in full swing. Now we have more basketball. It's I love the double sports. Like we have women's basketball and women's and men's basketball. It's so fun to get that interaction with two different leagues, as in like the WNBA and the men. So it's going to be a good season. I'm excited to see what they do. And let's not forget about Paige Becker's first game. They lost.
They lost. She played okay.
I'm sure there's some jitters there, of course. I mean, you just got drafted a month ago, maybe.
Yeah,
we talked about that. You go from draft to camp to play. The NBA, you go from draft to summer league to camp, then the NBA season. You get a lot more time. So what the women have to do is a lot. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's harder to do, especially as a rookie, because it ain't like you're a year or two and you get this whole off season. You went from winning a championship to getting drafted to playing in your professional career. So I think Dallas, the Wings will be better this year. I don't think they're quite there yet to make a championship run, but They're going to get there. I think that the Dallas team with her and I always forget that other player's name that's always been there.
What?
At the wings, the one that's been there for a while. I can never pronounce her name.
Hang on, I'll tell you. I know who you're talking about. But I'm with you.
Abunkabe or whatever her name is. Like, she's really good. I mean,
yes,
she's
yeah.
So they're building something there, and I like where the Dallas Wings are, but they're not championship contenders yet, in my opinion. But adding Paige definitely made them better, and I mean, I don't know. They may surprise us. They may make a run this year and get it going at some point, but I just don't know if they have that championship team yet. Like, they're not where the Liberty are. They're not where the Indiana Fever are. Not even Minnesota. People forget Minnesota is really good. Minnesota Lynx are really good. Nat Pace Collier is really good for them. They beat
Collier
the Sparks tonight.
Very good. Yes, they beat them
she's
tonight.
Very good. So WNBA's we're kicked off, man. I love it. I'm excited for this season for them.
Well, kind of something else we need to talk about. It's been big on our radar for a while now. I'm going to say about 4 weeks at least. Oh, Scotty Scheffler won a PGA Tour today.
Yes,
Shout
he
out
did.
to Scotty. That's 3 for the year.
Yep, that's his third one this year.
So that's big for him. DeChambeau got tied for second with
It's
Riley.
big for him.
That's big for Chambeau. He needed that. So, but yeah, he won by 5 strokes. So that's really, really good. He came on pretty big in the back 9 and kind of started creeping away from him. I think he was 2 or 3 up on him, and then he hit the back 9, and he just kind of continued to add to it. But yeah, I mean that's where we're at sports wise. A lot coming on this next week. Conference finals will be starting Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll have some stuff to talk about Wednesday night. A couple more WNBA games.
In the NHL, they start their games. I want to say they start Tuesday as well.
Tuesday night, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, Tuesday. Well, it's in the East. That's all it says. So don't even have a teams on there. But I mean, we know Carolina's in. So
yeah, and it just depends on
who wins tonight. It looks like it's going to be Florida, but I'm not going to say nothing yet because Toronto. We'll see. So yeah, we have that going on. Well, let's talk about what's going on this week. Do we have any guests this week, Derek? I can't remember.
No, we don't have anybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're open this week. Just me and you on Wednesday night. Let me double check. Yeah, just me and you Wednesday night. I had to double check myself.
Okay, perfect. I mean, my brain's been fried all weekend with all being out in this humidity. Not even necessarily the sun, this humidity, but I couldn't remember. Well, that's awesome. So yeah,
next week we'll kind of keep putting this out. Next Sunday night, we will not have a show.
Right.
It's my wedding anniversary this time.
No excuses.
But we're going to push it to Monday night, and it's going to be a network show. So we're going to have the whole gang is going to be here. Hopefully, we have the Brew Crew guys in with us as well. We'll have to get with them because they start the following Monday is their first show on the network, which is going to be huge. So be looking forward to that. We still have Sorry in Advance on Tuesday night this week. We'll be back on Wednesday, On Time Sports on Thursday, and then back to golfing on Friday. Hopefully the whole crew will be back Friday night. I know Sean was busy, and I know Jonathan got married, so we'll kind of see where we're at come Friday night. But yeah, other than that, it's going to be a great week. A lot of sports coming up, and I guess we'll just go from there.
Awesome. Well, of course, we appreciate everyone for hanging out with us. Again, we appreciate Mr. John Abraham for giving us 30, 40 minutes of his time and talking with us, and we really appreciate everything from him. And I'm hoping, who knows, man. I mean, we can officially say we've had an NFL Pro Bowl All-Pro vet on our show.
Possibly Hall of Famer on the show.
Possibly, potentially a Hall of Famer, hopefully sooner than later on our show. And I don't think that me and Derek ever thought that would happen before we hit our 1 year mark.
No, never.
I'm not sure if we ever thought that would ever happen. So we appreciate him more than he'll ever know. And we hope we have the opportunity to have him back on. Hopefully the next time we have him on, he's a Hall of Famer. And we can say we actually officially had a Hall of Famer on. So, we'll be back, of course. Like Derek said, we'll be back on Wednesday. Don't forget Sorry in Advance Tuesday, On Time Sports Thursday, and then we will go from there. Oh, and Friday golf. Like Derek said, we are week 5 in our golf. So come check us out, hang out, grab you a drink, and watch us be pro golfers.
Yep.
Hopefully I will have a different outfit then because I'm still rocking the OG from week when I uploaded the game. I need some new attire. I'm getting actually when I saw Jonathan's attire, I don't know how any of us beat that dude. Has a belt buckle with a gold ball. Like I don't know how we do that. So he has the best ball of everybody.
Look good, play good.
Exactly. So all right, y'all. Appreciate everybody being here, and we will see y'all on Wednesday.
All right, man.
Have a good one.